Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Empress Real 1584, the Good Witch. If this is your first time visiting me, I would like to thank you. While you're here, please like, subscribe, and share this channel. By taking this action, you will be helping the channel to grow. Also, take a moment to read my About page so that you can have some understanding about who I am. I will never copy another person's work, nor will I ever copy another person's title. That is because I am authentically me. This work is a part of my bloodline. I thank you for viewing, and I hope that you will return. Please check out my other videos. All are welcome to share his or her story in the comment section below, because your story may be a helpmate to someone else. My channel is a no judgment zone place for healing in some sort of way. If my video does not resonate with you, please do not try to make it fit your circumstances at all. For anyone else and everyone else that the message does make sense to, take from it what will help you on your journey towards your happiness in every area of your life. Once again, I am Empress Real 1584, the Good Witch. This channel is all about healing, so let's begin healing together. I hope everyone is doing well. I sincerely do. I hope everyone is doing well. You know, a lot of times when I come up here on this platform, people get uncomfortable. When I'm not doing tarot, if I'm not doing pick a card, and I never in my life, when I started these channels, did I ever say that these channels that I have are dedicated to tarot and tarot only. Never did I. I said this channel was all about healing. I said this channel was all about learning. This channel is all about understanding. I've never stated that these channels that I have are solely dedicated to tarot. True statement. When I opened the platform up to conversations, people get uncomfortable. But when they get uncomfortable, people like to put you in TikTok jail. They try to report your channel because you say something that they didn't like, that they don't understand, and it makes them feel uncomfortable. My people have been uncomfortable for generations. You know, one of the saddest parts about my people is when you come from a family that don't teach and that don't educate. And then we have the people that become so welcoming of others. But that's just who we are. That's who we are. We are very welcoming. Not that other races have been welcoming to us, but we are the most welcoming race on this planet. We are the most forgiving. We are the most accepting. No matter how many generations it has been that we have lived in the same cycle. The difference between slavery, because slavery was never a choice, like many people would like to say. People say that slavery was a choice because we didn't fight back, but we did. We didn't have the luxuries of guns and things of that nature. We had the luxuries of objects that were swords, that were staffs, bows and arrows, and they were not in any way as powerful as the gun. Did you know that in the world that we live in and the communities that we once had, we used to police our own communities? We would police our own communities. And the reason why we don't police our own communities anymore is because every time we built a place to live, every time they took from us and we would rebuild, they would come and take again. That's what happened. A lot of people see a lot of celebrations going on all over the internet, and people are celebrating being able to have their native card of being Lumbee. There are so many tribes, and a lot of people haven't even heard of. You haven't even begun to taste how many tribes there are, but the most familiar ones to you would be Cherokee, Lumbee, da-da-da-da-da. And that's the surface. It's just like religion. People only know what was taught, and some people never reach out, dive out to expand, to understand that we don't live in a bubble, but a lot of people keep themselves in a bubble. You know, it was a beautiful thing that Putin did for us. He let it be known that Jesus Christ of Nazareth is one of us, which we have all known that. Anytime that the Bible says that there's this man and his hair was made of wool, that's us. That's us all day long. People are celebrating being a Lumbee because in the Deep South, and let's start from Virginia down the Mason-Dixon line, people were offered $5 to change who they were. They were given $5 to change who they were. Some people looked at that $5 as you may look at $1 million today, because $5 back in the day was $1 million to many. Guess what? Some people took that $5 and they reclassified themselves as Black. Because the more people that you would have to classify as Black, the less that they would have to do. The less that they would have to make right. Because as long as you classify yourself as Black, then guess what Black people do? Well, I'm from Africa, not knowing that many were already here, as we were in many of the lands, in many countries. We were always the beginning. And I know some people may get uncomfortable because they have a lack of understanding. But I bring this to your attention because when I spoke about this before, there were other tarot readers that said, let's not let people separate. Well, people is Empress Real 1584. And people is Empress Real 1584, whose family was a part of the offering of the $5 exchange to change your identity. But my family never did at all. You know why? They wanted their land as they still have it. They wanted everything that was theirs, and they still have it. Lumbee in many states wasn't even recognized, because for them to recognize people of color being Lumbee, then they would have to say that something was done unjustly, which it was, and it still is. The difference between slavery and slavery is when people were taken from their families to do atrocious things, to make build and work, crop the land for other lazy ass people to live off the backs of us. So I was told that there's this woman who wants to separate. How can this one person separate what was already divided? You divided when, and I say you because we have some people who are ancestry to slave owners, slave masters. And yes, there are indigenous people that were slave owners as well. Yes, understand your history because they were given people that would work for them, and in return, land was exchanged. There were some tribes that welcomed, and we were not a slave. But then there are some indigenous people who stood up for who they were, and they didn't sell out no matter if that $5 looked like $1,000,000. We have people celebrating getting their identity back. The identity of yours should have never been lost. We don't need a government to tell us who we are when we know who we are. There are so many people, and it's generational, who don't listen to their elders. They don't sit down to get to know grandma or get to know grandma and want to understand their stories. You shouldn't have to pay for an ancestry of your own lineage when all you have to do is to connect to your family. People think that sitting around the elders is so mundane and so boring that you get nothing from it when you get everything from it. You get to learn who you are, where you came from, who shot John, who loved Maria, and who married who cousin, first and last. You get to know everything because what people think as of a story, those stories are the truths. Those stories are the truth. I've heard many people my age. I'm 52, and I hear a lot of people say, well, I never hung around my elders. I never spoke to my grandparents like that. I never tried to dive in. And then you are where you are currently, and you're paying for somebody to do a DNA on you, and you don't even know if that DNA is accurate. You don't know because DNA, any tribe, as they say, indigenous, but how are we indigenous to where we were already? We were always taught that Christopher Columbus discovered America. How can he discover something where our people were already at? We were here. Still to this day, we welcome, as the Africans welcome the Europeans on their land to teach, to exchange goods. Same thing as they did in every country that they went to, that they said that they found. Always so welcoming. But we have always been in every country. We have always been, because we have always been the first. It's sad when you have so many uneducated families, and especially the young producing young who have no knowledge, who don't care to have knowledge. But the one thing that we still do, we are welcoming, very welcoming. We sit online and we watch our people get their asses whooped in nail salons, hair stores, beauty supply shops, because they assumed that you were going to steal, or if you caught them stealing from you, or if they didn't apply the service accurately and treated you like you were a piece of trash. And when then you then stand up for yourself and refuse to pay, then they want to jump on you. But then you go back and go back to those same places that participated in beating someone in your community's tail. But then you'll say, well, it didn't happen to me, so I'm going to go back in that store. But it did happen to you. It happened to each and every one of us, because it happens time and time again. Slavery never stopped. It looks like we are free, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like we're free? Because we get to get in our car, go in any store that we want, because once upon a time, we weren't even allowed in the store. We would have to get our goods from outside the store, from the back. We couldn't pick our own meats. We couldn't pick our own fruits and vegetables. That's why a lot of families, this person will grow cucumbers, this person will grow tomatoes, and they would swap and exchange amongst themselves. This family had a hog farm. This family over here had rabbits. Yes, people eat rabbits, if you didn't know. People ate raccoons too. You know, the same raccoons that you see videos of people having them in their house saying, oh, they're so cute. Just like other countries, they eat dogs that we love and we say, oh, are so cute. We did an exchange. But then when we started cropping our lands, allowing our animals to multiply, when we started feeding ourselves in our communities, then animals would get sick. Animals would all of a sudden pass away. Farmland would be poisoned. Look at the government today. They don't want to give you a male seed versus a female seed. And we have so many seedless fruits and vegetables, when there's always supposed to be a masculine and a feminine when it comes to the reproduction of a fruit or vegetable. When has the government ever regulated control over what we grow? That's called control. Because they see people are going back to the days of their ancestors. And I mean ancestors as your grandmother, your grandfather. I'm not talking about way down the line. We're going back to our roots of wanting to have our own, growing in our own backyards. And people who don't have their own backyards, they grow in their kitchen. And if they live in an apartment with a deck, they're growing their fruits and vegetables on the deck. But the government says, nah, we can't have this, because there are so many families that run the U.S. So if you regain knowledge of self and you start growing your own fruits and vegetables, and if you start going down the street to Paul, who has animals down there, and you can buy your own meat and he'll slaughter it, he'll butcher it for you, guess what? They start losing control again. So where are our missing children? Where are our exploited children? Where are they? Why do they always take them from the poorest of areas, where they brought the drugs into those communities, where we still have teens having babies? Where are our missing? See, y'all think slavery is over. It never ended. It never ended. Sex trafficking is a form of slavery, to make someone sleep with another for profit, when the person whose body is being trafficked gets no profit. Same thing with slavery. Take people, make them work for you. They get no profit, but you fool them and you say, I give you a roof over your head. I give you scraps to eat. And that's what they do. Same thing. Same thing. Why do you think we have ice here? Why do you think we have ice? They show you the worst stories of the immigrants, right? This immigrant murdered this person. This immigrant kidnapped this person. This immigrant raped this person. But it's the same thing that our government still does to us. But let's get them out of here. You know why? Because this right here is still the majority. Too many of the others don't want as many children as we still have. So their numbers are dwindling. Let's get rid of them first, because it's not going to be so easy to get rid of us. It won't be so easy, because many of us is educated now. Many of us is educated now. Many of us ain't going to stand for that shit now. Many of us, we're not going to call anybody massa. Many of us are going to fight, come hell or hot water. And I see you. I see you. It's funny when people come up here and they speak about what I spoken about. They say she's trying to separate. How can I divide anything that has been divided even before I was born, before my mother was born, before my grandparents were born, and their great parents? How can I separate? Then they try to erase our history, even removing MLK Day. Pay attention. Because as soon as Puddin says, let me show you this picture. Now let's remove anything that belongs to them. And then they say, we should forget. How can we forget when we still have our brothers and sisters being hung? Yes, today, 2025, still being hung. You may catch a story here and there. Back in the day, in my day, when we had no computers, we were lucky to have a family member that lived in another state, in another state, in another state, and they would keep us abreast. That means keep us informed about what was going on, where they live. How is it okay for a police officer to murder? And I didn't say all, but how is it okay for a police officer to murder? How is it okay for the KKK to be within the police force when the police are to protect and serve? When the KKK never protected and served us outside of the police department. So how would you protect us inside of the police department? It makes no sense. How is it okay if you go knock on somebody's door and they don't answer, but in the privacy of their own home, they're being murdered? And then they say it was a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's never been a mistake. They wasn't playing with a gun outside of somebody's house, of somebody's apartment, of somebody's trailer. They wasn't playing with a gun outside. They weren't playing Russian roulette. There was no mistakes. But as many as they can eliminate, that's what they're trying to do. And as they serve human meat, it's okay. Yes, they serve human meat in the U.S. So ask yourself this. If they serve human meat in the U.S., did somebody sign a paper and say, take my body, take my life, and I'll become somebody's hamburger or steak? So how do they get these bodies for human consumption? Where are they coming from? Oh, you think this is new? They've been doing this. You know your history? Many slaves that tried to escape, they have been eating us. Not only do we look so good and nutritious, we damn sure taste good too. Even though we're not candy, although we look so damn fine and dandy. But I was told, and people have made videos saying that I'm trying to separate and I need to let go. How do I let go of my history? Make that make sense. You could try to remove the histories from schools, from the libraries, but you'll never remove it out of a family. And especially a family that talks to each other, that shares knowledge, because knowledge has always been wealth. When you're told to pay attention in school, you're not told to pay attention in school because of what they're going to teach you. But you're being taught to pay attention because once upon a time, if they even knew that we could read or write, you would be killed for that as well, unalive. So I posed the question, how am I trying to separate when we have always been divided? Now, getting back to the welcoming. We are the greatest welcoming community of all time. We welcome every nationality. No matter what, we welcome everyone. Even when they put the Chinese stores in the hood, we welcome them. And we try to learn their language so we could get free Shen Five Eyes. Instead of a pint, we get a quart. But then you're learning that your chicken is not chicken, it's cat. So no matter what state that you have ever lived in, it's the same shit across the board. It's always been cat. It's always been rats. It's always been. But I understand how people didn't know the difference in understanding the texture of food, especially if you weren't deeply rooted from your family having farms and watching animals get slaughtered and understanding the process of what meat is supposed to look like. I went to Wendy's about 2 months ago. 2 months ago. Matter of fact, it was 3. I want to be specific. And I got chicken nuggets and some fries. That's it. Until I cook my dinner. When I bit it, I was like, what the fuck is this? Tastes like paper mache. This is not meat. But I didn't make a U-turn because I live in a place where it's very crowded. I didn't make a U-turn. I went home and I called Wendy's and I said, listen, I'm not going to make a stink about it, nor am I going to sue. However, Chick-fil-A told you that they're no longer serving chicken. They told you the truth that they were growing chickens in a lab and that they will be serving it to you. And it's up to you if you want to still eat it. And many of you still keep that line long because you don't know any better. We understand. But the ones who want to live, who want longevity, so that we can leave our legacy, whether you have money or not, we want to leave our legacy. We want to leave our DNA here, which they're trying to wipe out. That's why they're trying to control our food, our fruits, our vegetables, why they want to tell us where we can buy seeds, what seeds can be purchased, and how they're going to be purchased. There's no longer masculine and feminine seeds. Yes, it's a thing. That's why your oranges are seedless. You will hope to get one seed in there because there's one feminine that's still saying, I think I can, I think I can. So you may get an orange with one seed. And if you're lucky, you may have 2 seeds in there. But the next time you get it back, there won't be another. But you're still bottom. And I understand the apples. If you don't know how to feel, then you won't understand that you're buying plastic, that they have found ways to incorporate plastic. But then they'll tell you they put a nice little shiny coating on your fruit to preserve it. No, that shit is supposed to be rotten. It's supposed to spoil. Nowadays, you buy a loaf of bread to whereas a loaf of bread will only stay in your kitchen for about 2 weeks. You can keep a loaf of bread in your kitchen for about 2 to 3 months and it'll never mold. Greetings to you. I'm always going to speak about life. I've never told anyone when I started this platform or the others that I had that it was going to be solely tarot, that I was solely going to do psychic readings, that I was solely going to do mediumship readings. I never promised anyone that. But what I did promise was to educate and to keep the many abreast, and for the others, right? You know, the ones that's this side of the hand. And yes, I'm talking to some of you who are this side. But for the ones that are this side, I'm talking to you because it's always going to be a problem. I don't care if you say that I have a mixed child. Just because you like Black D, I need to see you at the rally. I need to see you at the police department. Because if you're for us, as many like to spit, I don't see color. When we look at each other, we always see color. We always see color no matter what. Even my own people, we see color. Yes, there's a thing to whereas if the dark skins against the light skins, but we're one race. So we got to get it together. Because I was always taught everything light doesn't make it beautiful. Everything dark, it doesn't make it beautiful. But beauty is always in the eye of the beholder. But then if you're talking about us coming together, for us to be able to stand up, we got to let that shit go. And since I was a child, there's always been a season. This season, my light-skinned brothers are winning. Now, the next season, the dark-skinned brothers are winning. This season, my dark-skinned sisters are winning. And then this season, the light-skinned sisters are winning. How come we just can't be who we are and understand that we are the rainbow and we come in many shades? That's what makes us so unique. We are uniquely made. We are the beginning and understand there is no ending. So how, once again, would somebody make a video and say that I tried to separate when we have always been divided? Not only from us, but from others as well. But we're still so welcoming. No, I'm not spitting hate at all. I'm not spitting hate. I'm spitting reality. I'm spitting reality. You can't be for us behind a computer and then hate us when one of our brothers and sisters come up missing. One of our children come up missing. Because all of our brothers and sisters belong to us and all of our children belong to us as yours do. We don't get the publicity that our children's need. They say within the first 24 hours, you need to jump on the case to get ahead. But there's never been a 24 hours for us. And then when people fake and lie about kidnappings, then everybody wants to jump on that person because they suffer with some mental problems. Then you're mad and be like, oh, for the first time that we get publicized, you mess it up because you lied and you wasted police resources. How idiotic do you sound to even say that to a person? Because why does it have to be for the first time in a long time that we got any kind of traction or coverage? It should always be equal. But we've never been equal. So I ask once again, how did I have a channel that separates? When I speak about religion versus spirituality, am I separating? Because when it comes to spirituality, people of culture, us, always had our own. Yeah, brought Jesus to us. We already had our own deities. And then you say that you're a root worker. You say that you're a voodoo worker. And I'm trying to separate when voodoo was formed for the protection of my people. When you came and stole us from different countries, different continents, we put spells from our tongue to protect our own when you took them across the seas. When our deities showed us what to do, how to do, and we reciprocated by saying thank you. And then you got people to come up here and say you a tarot reader, you a root worker, you a voodoo worker. Oh, you need to be afraid. Because you don't get to pray to our deities that still protect and guide us. When bloodline never separates, it can never be divided. So if bloodlines can't be divided, how did I separate? Because you have always divided. I went to a seminar with people that were supposed to be like me. I went to a seminar, and in this seminar that I went to, it was only 2 people like me that were there, and the rest were other cultures and nationalities, but they still didn't look like me. And when I went to the seminar, I'm sitting to the woman of the seminar who was the lead speaker, talking about how she went to this country and learned this, and went to this country and learned that, and went to this country and learned that. But damn it, what did you learn from Europe? And I'll wait. And you work the root like that? And you do voodoo like that? See what's written in history. You'll see root workers that are Caucasians. Yes, you will see them. That are stories that are written about them. You will see them. But they don't write about us. And the books that were written about us, now they're being mass produced. When journals and diaries were left to families, and families are like, okay, we're going to mass produce this. How do we have the same spell work? How do we conjure the same? We don't. And then y'all people so foolish. And I'm talking to my real ones, because it's not many real ones up here. But for my real ones, you sit up here and you want to speak about spells. And you put them online just for them to eat when you don't even have a book written. You don't have a business. Everything is AI. Everything that I'm saying right now is AI. And it'll be broken down and you'll see little Grammy in cartoon saying everything I'm saying. Because everything is AI. AI isn't meant to help, it's meant to destroy. It's meant to destroy. It's not meant to help us, but you need to learn it. You need to get on the bandwagon of and learn it. Now, for my Caucasian people, I know your feelings is hurt because you're like, oh, I listened to Empress Real 1584, The Good Witch, and you may have booked a reading or two. And if your feelings are hurt, that's solely on you. Because it was this Caucasian woman that said I was trying to separate. How can you say that out of your mouth? That I'm trying to separate when we have been divided. You divided us. And I say you because that's what you do when you talk about us. You group us together, and we should never be grouped together because we're not the same. We're not the same when you still got people in my culture fighting about light skins over there and dark skins over there. Nah, we not the same. We're not the same. My people are still learning. Some of my people don't even know who Martin Luther King is. Some people don't even know their history now unless you let some cracker write it in a movie. And that's sad. That's a shame. I was always taught, if you want to do better, you'll know better. And to know better is to do better. Slavery has never gone away. It just looks a little prettier. Because if it went away, we wouldn't have to be scared to go outside. We wouldn't have so many campaigns to protect the black women. Protect, protect, protect. Y'all holler and protect the black women when you got so many videos of y'all fighting each other, sleeping with each other's men, sleeping with each other's women. But you're all on the bandwagon of protect. And we supposed to stick together. And then everybody in the comment, Jesus gonna get you. No, Jesus gonna get you. Because Jesus shouldn't be your God. Because Jesus was brought to you. And you paid dearly with your life to learn about Jesus. Because Jesus came after. See, that's when you know your times and you know your dates. Oh, now y'all want to holler the I of Ra. Now you want to holler Horus. Oh, but they were before Jesus. They were before. Who else you want to holler? Now you want to speak about the deities. But before you get to them, you got to learn you. You got to learn who you are. And hurting and backstabbing. You got to keep your eyes open. And when you see something, you always have to say something. Hey, Raleigh, how are you? You're not late, Raleigh. You're not late. You are not late at all. You're not late at all. This video I made for a couple of tarot readers that spoke about what I speak about on this channel. And I don't follow any tarot readers, although a lot of them do follow me. And if they say they don't, you have given me some change. Cha-ching, you have. But I was told that I like to separate when we have always been divided. That's what I was told. I was told that I like to separate. I separate voodoo because they work voodoo too. I was told that I separate root work because they do root work too. Oh no, you don't do what we do. You don't do what the real ones do. Because we got a lot of fake ones. But you don't do what the real ones do. Because if you was doing what the real ones do, you wouldn't have to have your eyes on me if you were a real one. And that's a fact. Now, I know y'all probably like, that racist bitch. My grandfather's from Ireland. My father's father. And when he was here, I spoke the same thing to him that I speak to you. That's how we educate ourselves. And around the corner on my mother's side, her father is Kahari. Many people don't know about Kahari. The Lumbee. And many of you who have followed me, I have taken you on a tour of our tribal land. I've even took you live to meet my 99-year-old aunt, whose picture is up here. And she still works the root. She still does voodoo. And I let you guys see my family. I was told Sunday, because I was invited to a podcast, I was told Sunday that being that I have so many nationalities within me, it doesn't make me black. That's what this Caucasian woman said to me. Show me one that's 100%. You show me yours and I'll show you mine. Show me yours and I'll show you mine. Because not one person could say that they had a DNA test and their blood came back, as the USA says, indigenous, because we don't give our blood. We don't give our blood. That's a rule on all tribes, each and every tribe. We keep that sacred. I'll give my blood. You know why? Because I have so many races within me. But we all do. But many of us don't even know who we are because you never take the time to learn your family. And I get it. If you were someone who was adopted, then yeah, you're probably one of the ones that would do DNA. But you got to be careful with that because all of those weren't created for us. All of them weren't created for us. And as you see, when people that work for those companies spoke out and they let you know that they were giving y'all frivolous DNA, you got to go a little bit deeper and you got to hire private. And you got to hire private. And when you hire private, then you'll get your actual DNA. But you'll never get tribal because tribal, you're never supposed to give it out. My grandfather never went to a doctor in his life. My mother's father, they don't believe in doctors. They believe in root work. That means everything from the land. They didn't have medical insurance, not because he couldn't afford it. He didn't want it. Now, my grandma, on the other hand, she went to all the doctors in the world, but not her husband. Because he believed in everything that was natural. when I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see so many people giving out spell work. And I'm laughing because some of the spell work, you don't even know. Some of the spell work they're giving y'all is to take parts of you. But people will do whatever that they think is popular. And as I'm flipping through, I see, use this spell for this, use this spell for that. And I'm like, ah. And I see, I'm one of the ones, I run to the comments. I see, thank you. Oh, you helped me a lot. I'm going to use this one tonight. And I'm like, damn. A lot of spell work up here that's used to trap, to hurt, to destroy. Yes, it is. But then there is some that is authentic. And I'm like, damn, for free? Because I don't work for free. My energy is not for free. And then I'm like, wow, I can't believe they gave that out. I can't believe this person gave that spell out. But I'll never sit up here and say what is real and what is fake. I'll never do that. Because if you would be so foolish to try anything, if you never did drugs, you might as well believe that it only gets you high for 2 minutes and it'll never get you addicted. Then you one of those. So being that I have never been gullible or vulnerable or any type of addict, you got to be stronger than it. You have to be stronger than it. And I dislike coming up here to address anything. But I'm petty like that. Because when you say that this one woman is trying to separate, I need you to say that again. I need you to make another video and say that again. Because how am I trying to separate when we have been divided? And I can't say from the beginning, because in the beginning, we were all minding our business until these Europeans learn how to sell their damn boats and come to the islands and start giving people all kinds of diseases. Started murdering, started kidnapping, started raping our men and our women and our children. Because you felt like you could, because we were welcoming then as we are welcoming now. We're so welcoming. But they say we're so bad. They say we're thugs. But they gotta say that for the new people that they let come into the country, because as soon as these people come in the country, before they give them their stamp of approval, they'll say, don't fuck with those ninjas. Stay away from those ninjas. And y'all think that's something new. They've been doing that since I was a kid. They've been doing that since I was a kid. And I'm over half. I'm over half of 100. So they've been doing that since I was a kid. But when you lack knowledge, you're thinking everything is new. And that's the difference. Now, I never try to divide. I'm always going to speak the truth. I'm going to say the truth, no matter who feelings it hurts. Because many of us, our feelings have been hurt for a long time. Our feelings have been hurt before I was born. We came out with pain. But the one thing that our families taught us to do was to love this brown skin, to love this blackness, because y'all love it so much. You love to hate. You love to hate it. And we love it. And I'm only speaking to the ones who don't bleach, because the ones who bleach, you hate yourself. So we're not the same. I'm trying to separate, but we have been divided. You separated us when you made our families work to build your homes, your mansions, to crop your lands, to rape, to mutilate. But this one woman is separating. See, history can't be erased. I come from a family that was a part of it, and we were all taught. I come from a family where we all sat down with our ancestors, with our elders. We listened. We had that privilege of hearing those horror stories. Well, we survived, and we're still trying to survive. Oh, don't sit up here like I said something wrong, because a lot of y'all voted. A lot of y'all voted for what we got right now. I heard that somebody was bombed recently. That's what I heard. I heard that there was an explosion let off. But I heard it was for all the reasons that it was not. I heard it was in a place where they look like us. But I'm trying to separate. I was told I was trying to separate. But we've been divided. You were divided even before Election Day. You know, you were divided before Election Day, and y'all was foolish enough to focus on some pearls. Y'all was foolish enough to walk around here with pearls on. You didn't have much of a vote. I'm going to throw on some pearls because she resembles us. She's supposed to be one of us. But I never heard her speak saying thank you. But y'all wore those pearls like y'all do because y'all so welcoming. Then a lot of y'all stood on the other side and put on that baseball cap too. I saw a lot of that too. Nah, until we stop being divided, and until you stop allowing others to separate, we'll always be at war. But we do live in a country that we built every damn thing that we got paid for. Cell phones, stoplights, you want me to keep going? because you should know. IVs. You know those IVs that sometimes when y'all get so drunk, you need an IV because you're dehydrated. Oh yeah, we did that too. But a lot of y'all wouldn't know this because you only learn from TV, from movies. And it's a shame. It's a shame. But I needed to make this video for those Caucasian tarot readers, tarot readers that said that I was trying to separate it, but we've been divided. So I just had to address what was really going on because I remember going to college and my major was education. So somebody is going to explain me when you don't know me. Oh, I forgot you read tarot. But tell me what you see. How about, hey, ma, no hands. Tell me what you see. You got to make it make sense. When this was ours, tarot was ours. Oh my goodness. One of us made the Rider-Waite deck. Oh my goodness, gypsies. We are them too. But then they gave the title over to them and started calling those gypsies. So there's two kinds of gypsies. There's us and there's them. Like the people that do everything we do. Oh my God, they nappy hair. You can't come to work with that nappy hair. You need a wig on, or you need to put a perm in it. But then you got other races, they want to wear afros as well. Oh my goodness. No. Dress, braids. And everything y'all put on the computer and they sit down and study. You got women going back and forth now over hairdos being sued. And we are the creators of it all. Fighting over hairdos, fighting over the wrong thing. How about fighting over children missing? Fighting over our history they're trying to erase. To remove it out of school and still want to teach that Christopher Columbus discovered America when that was a lie. Nobody was taken from Africa. Oh no, when they came to the U.S., no one was here. But a place where we were already here, but somebody discovered it. But if we were here already, how did the land become yours? Now, you got to stick to one story and make it make sense. But you put out a video saying that I'm trying to separate when we have always been divided. You thought I was what? You know how when we were kids, they say, come out from wherever you are. Well, here I am. Here I am. And you know how we got these little kids, they call them YNs. Save that energy. Because see some YNs up here. You shouldn't even want people to call you that. But save your energy. Save your energy because you're going to need it. Slavery never stopped. We never had our freedoms. If we had our freedoms, we will be equal. All of our missing and exploited children would be on the news just like the others missing and exploited. We would get the same news coverage. Or as many missings that we have, it would be equal. But they hate us so much. But they like to go 10. They like to get injections. But then they say, oh, my God, you guys wear blonde hair. Oh, there are so many tribes that have blonde hair. Now ask yourself why you got blonde hair. And then ask us why we have blonde hair. And I'm not talking about the ones that dye their hair. Ask why many of us have blue eyes, gray eyes, hazel eyes. Ask. Because if we are the original, that means we created everything. So yes, we have natural blonde hair. And I'm not talking about the ones that go dye their hair blonde. We do. We have blue eyes. We have gray eyes. We have hazel eyes. We have green eyes. We have dark brown eyes. Make us mad enough we even have black eyes. You know what I'm talking about. My real voodoo workers. My real root workers. But I was told that I was trying to separate. See, what did they teach out in school? That the worst thing that ever happened in history was under Hitler's rule. That's what they taught y'all. That's what they taught y'all, that under Hitler's rule, that was the worst thing that ever happened in the world. Oh no. Let's add their numbers up and let's add our numbers up. Oh, you don't know our numbers. Because you're still building homes and finding graves on sacred grounds where there's no headstones, no tombstones. Right here. Oh, you want us to forget? Thank you. Thank you, Divine Goddess. We'll never forget. We'll never forget. And I have a lot of family that follow me here. And I'm the one who spoke and asked questions. I got cousins that are up here. They just looking for love from Grandma and Granddaddy. Grandma, I can't sit on your lap. Grandma, do you love me better than her or him? No, I'm the grandkid dad. How did y'all meet? Where did you grow up? What's your mama last name? What's your daddy last name before your mama took on our granddaddy's last name? I need to know who I am. I need to know the exchange of where I come from. I want to know from your mouth, what was your life like when you were a child? What was the pains? What was the sufferings? What was your happiness? See, once upon a time, they didn't even allow us to deliver in hospitals. We had to have family members to help deliver in the homes. And you better know it is still safer today to have your child at home when you have a decent and a real midwife. Look at Serena Williams, all the money she got. And they still treated her poorly. And she had to diagnose herself. Nah, they didn't see the $1 Million Woman. They saw this woman. So when they saw this woman, she said, fuck that. I want to be this woman. I want to be this woman. So I'll never have to diagnose myself and they'll treat me properly. But just because you bleached, they're still going to treat you the same. Still nigga. Remember Jay-Z said it? No, I just, like to make sense out of everything since I like to separate. But we've always been divided. I'm just trying to make it make sense. Trying to have a better understanding because maybe somebody could teach me. Maybe I'm saying something wrong, but as far as history goes, I never said anything wrong. So you make a video saying that I separate. You have more followers than me. You have more followers than I do. And so I struck a nerve. You got to make that make sense. See, you thought I was new to the platform. But this has always been my world. You thought that you could speak about a woman like this and I'll not say anything because surprise, you're this. But damn it, surprise, my grandfather this too. So I get to speak to you. I'm just trying to make it make sense. You said some people are up here on the platform trying to divide. I'm trying to divide tarot. Oh, that was ours. I'm trying to divide religion. I always let it be known. I don't do the Bible. Every video that I had, 700 plus, and I always let it be known, I am not a Bible thumper. I always let it be known, I'm a root worker. I let it be known that my family religion is voodoo. I always let it be known. You thought that this was all I did? But I'm a psychic, but you just read tarot. and you make up stories and you give the people false hope. You do $9.99 readings and you tell people what they want to hear because you don't know what to say. My bad. You're a medium. You speak to spirit. Oh, I forgot you just read tarot. No, we not the same. We not the same. Oh, you don't mention our deities. I get it. Because understand that religion, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, that you pray to, and tarot, they don't go together. King James Version of the Bible strictly forbids sorcery, witchcraft, voodoo, soothsayers. That's what the Bible said, but that's the Bible that you speak. Oh, my bad. You got prophets. But prophets are supposed to be psychics, right? Because prophets supposed to put their hand over your head and say, let me pray to you. Oh, sister so-and-so, something about the da-da-da-da. And you be like, oh, yes, let me give you my tithes. While you walking away, catching a bus, and your preacher driving away in his Benz or his Cadillac. I'm just saying. While you living in your apartment, while they got a house. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But we not the same. But we're done. I'm done. I just needed to address this because I have people that have been with me for a minute, and they're always sending me videos in my inbox. And let me tell you, I don't know how to send those videos. I don't. I'm learning. I'm practicing. Thank you. Every day is a holiday. But thank you for the videos. I don't get to see them all, and I see that I still have a lot of messages. And I told y'all it wasn't necessary, not unless you like to hear me ramble on. But I'm going to post this because some people got me fucked up. Some people got me fucked up. We're not the same. Let me know how this works. You got 60 to 70 people in the live. Y'all pay attention because I need somebody to make it make sense. And people paying you $10, $20 for one question. Me and John going to get back together. Yes. Cha-ching. Am I pregnant? Yes. Cha-ching. See, we won't do that over here. You know why? I'm a psychic for real. I'm a medium for real. So, if you got $10 to pay me to ask me if you're pregnant, you should take that same money, go get a pregnancy test, or take that same money to go to an urgent care, or better yet, go to the hospital and say you're cramping, and when they ask you if you miss your period, you could say yes, and then they'll give you a pregnancy test. Why would you need somebody to tell you if you're pregnant? Okay, we're going to go through the process of elimination. Were you having sex? Did you use protection? Some people poke holes in condoms. They used to do that when I was young. They still do it today. The real readers don't do health lawyers and pregnant. I don't do none of that. So I'm not going to sit up here and fake like I'm going through everybody and I've made a connection with everybody for a couple of dollars. I can't do that. It's not fair to anyone. And that's called karma that I'll never have to pay for. Because when you do that to people, karma may not hit you, but it may hit somebody you love. Why did John have a car accident? Because you over there fucking with people. Why did Brenda just have a heart attack? Because you over there fucking with people. Why the baby over there choking? We got to call 911 because you fucking with people. Why your boyfriend or your girlfriend just beat your ass because you over there fucking with people? You see how karma works? So it may not hit you, but it could hit somebody you love while you up here playing with people for a couple of dollars. You shouldn't do that. Wait a minute. You want to help people. But this is Terrell. You want to help people, but this Terrell. You give them a half of a reading online. So for Aries, let's just say we're talking about Aries. You give an Aries reading. And in 30 minutes you're done. Then you get a Patreon channel. And so for the next 30 minutes, if you want to hear the ending of it, you want them to pay? We won't do that over here. I'm going to give you part 1, part 2, part 3. Because this is for free. It's not a personal reading. When I'm online, this is not a one-to-one. So if it's a one-to-one, then you could book a reading with me and we're going to do the one-to-one. But if this is for the masses and whomever it connects with, why would I set up a backdoor account for a couple of dollars for you to pay for part 2? Make that make sense. Real ones don't do that. Won't do that. We don't do that. I had a woman online the other day, and anybody that follows me, anybody knows that I don't sit up here and waste my time with anyone, not unless I'm doing a pick a card. My pick a cards are free as well. I did a pick a card for $5 one time. And my soul said, no. On these platforms, you do that for free. Anytime I do a pick a card, it's for free. Whomever is bold enough to say, I want one. And the saddest part, many of the people that I've done a reading for, they'll always tell me, I spent so much money until I found you. And they were all fake. Nothing they said came to pass. Nothing they said was true. And that's fucked up. But not really. Because karma's a bitch. And vengeance is sweet. It's always sweet. Because you get what you deserve when you hurt people. Another thing that I don't do on this channel, if I'm doing a reading, every once in a while I will glance up and I'll see the screen. But then I have backup. I have people up here in the background and they're responding for me. And I always tell people, if I miss a message, it's not on purpose. Not on purpose at all. But then if someone in the background sees you, they will respond for me. What I don't do in my readings, if I'm doing a tarot reading, are John and I going to get back together? I don't do that. But you could book a reading with me and we'll do all that. I don't do none of that. I get paid for this in real life, but not on these platforms. I do this for real. And I've never done a reading for anyone that has ever come back and said I didn't do them right, or that they had to tell me anything about them. Another thing, as I always say, anytime you do a reading for someone, if someone has you to send them questions, what you want the reading to be about, run. Because if they're true to their craft, they shouldn't have to ask you shit. They should be able to speak it, tell you why you're calling them. And you should be able to tell the person as a reader what they want. But to have somebody to fill out an application before you give somebody a reading, you whack. You're corny. And you're a fake one. And we have no time for fake ones. We don't do that over here. At all. At all. We don't do that. You don't hurt people. But everybody don't have the same moral compass. Everybody doesn't do things the same. But little old me, you watching little old me? YouTube too, same thing. Y'all be sending me these YouTube videos of them watching me, sharing everything that I do. They monkeys. Monkeys see, monkey do. I've always been a leader. I never followed the crowd. I always did me. Without apologies. Imagine that. I've always done me. No apologies necessary. But I'm going to get off live. It's 12:19 p.m. And I need to meditate. But I had to address, how am I trying to separate when we've always been divided? Let me explain. And I'm doing it like this because of who addressed me. This eye. While you was in a cave, we was outside. So you know how this generation be like, we outside? We've been outside. Taking in all that vitamin D, all that sunlight. We've been outside. So when you address me, do it properly. Come outside with me. Oh my bad, you can't be out there that long. You've been in a cave. I've always been outside. I'm just saying. So when you come for a real one, make sure that you understand what you're doing. In a few days, I'll be back in a few days. Let me tell you, I was out today. I did the little peace walk. I went to go see, and I saw people saying, well, they don't believe in God. They don't believe in your God. But they are walking for a common good. They're walking for peace. They're walking to help, if they can, in some way, stop the hatred of all. Oh, we standing in front of the store? There go 5-0. Now we need to stop running, y'all. But ever since, you know that dude Christopher Columbus, but there's other names. I'm just going to say his because that's the one they talk about the most in school. But since that dude came the first time, they welcomed. Second time, they welcomed. Third time. So we've been running every time we see danger. And the beauty of life, we're equal now. And what I mean by we're equal now, we ain't running anymore. We're not doing that. So if you thought that you was going to make a video about me and I wasn't going to come out to play, bitch, I've been outside. Been outside. My ancestors been outside. We've been here always. While you was peeping out from your cave because you was scared of that sunlight. We always been in the sun. We are the sun. We are the moon. We are everything. We are the stars. We are the earth. We are the earth. We are everything. That's why y'all watch us so much. So how would you know what I was speaking on my channel if you wasn't watching me? Peeping out from that cave. I'm just saying. Here I go. Uh-oh. Here I am. Here I am. I've always been outside. My grandfather been outside. His father been outside, and so on. We always been outside. We was doing that shit without sunscreen, too. Working in them fields. Like a dog. Once again, you said I separated. But when have we not been divided? When have your children and I keep getting quiet, when have your children ever been outside and worried about not coming home because they look like this? I'm just saying. Because they look like this. Because they look like this. When have your children not made it home because somebody was fucking hungry? I'm just saying. See, y'all still think that when you eat us, you get superpowers. See, that's why they ate Nat Turner and some more of them. But I'm only telling y'all about the ones y'all saw on TV, because there's many more. So if you think if you eat us that you get superpowers, imagine when you try to take everything from us, and then you come across one like me and you say that I tried to separate, but we've been divided. I just need somebody to make it make sense. That's all. Oh, thank you. I got to work on my limit 8 a little better. Throw clips up there, but I have been trying to get up on it. But thank you, Divine Goddess. I am Divine Lead Goddess. Let me get it right. But I'm going to follow you back too. Now, I don't follow everybody back, let me tell you. But I am. But I try to separate, but my platform is not like yours, nor has my platform been created to be like yours, because we don't do the same thing. You're strictly tarot. Tarot, tarot, it all depends on what your vernacular is. I'm strictly mediumship, psychic. Then I like to play with tarot. Then I work the root, and I speak with my tongue that's connected to my soul. And my religion is voodoo. That's what my mama do. That's what my granddaddy do. And even though they crossed over, that makes me powerful, because they help. They still help me. They help me to see, hear, feel, taste. And that's it. So, come for me again, and I'll call you by your name, but not on this platform. At my altar. Speak on me again, and I'll call you by your name. See, the other lady that came up here a few nights ago, my people in the back was about to block her. I said, don't block her, because I wanted you to feel me right here, right now. And I told you you wouldn't sleep well. I told you you had to be careful with real ones. But you'll be back. She'll be back, y'all, asking me to help. But I don't double back. You never double back. You can't do something, putting on something on someone and then take it off. You don't do that. And if anybody tell you that they'll do that, they fake. I'll never do that. Before I end this life, separated, never. But we've always been divided. But you had to make it that way, because all you did was take and take and take, and you're still taking, and you're still taking, and you're still taking. But things is changing, I promise y'all. Things gonna change. It's gonna be a turnaround. It's gonna be a turnaround. So you gotta decide what side of the bridge you wanna stand on. You wanna stand on the bridge where you get left behind? Or you wanna go on the side of the bridge that moves forward. Free when? When have we been free? Because if we were free, we would be equal. When were we equal? Oh, my bad. Because the stars wear those name brands. You think you're supposed to wear them, but they don't even want you in the store? All you did was get up here. Look at me. Oh, you must got Sheen leggings on. They got the same damn leggings. You just paying a higher price. They just got their name put on it. You know those things called tags? Tag, you're it. Oh, my bad. You want to pay $2,000 for a plastic pocketbook. Because it's vegan leather. Well, when I was growing up, it was leather, it was plastic, it was garbage bags. We eat meat, so we like leather. We like cowhide. We like snakeskin. We like alligator. But you spend $2,000-$3,000 on people who don't like you. And they told you that. They said they don't want you in their store, but you keep trying to go. And they have the right to say, get the fuck out. But you think you could sue because we equal. When you been equal? You got to make it make sense. Oh, you said I'm trying to separate. When it comes to spirituality, oh, and the people, I don't represent the people. I don't represent you, you don't represent me. Oh, my bad. I'm moving on up. You thought I was going to stay down because I was new. I just got started. And you don't like it. But you thought because you had more views than me that you could say what you want and people respect you. When people begin to respect who they are, when they understand who they are, they'll understand that you can't teach them anything because we're not the same. Spiritually, my people have been free. They just haven't realized it. But a lot of them are waking up and they're learning about themselves. And on this platform, I show them how to wake up, how to tap all up in here, and how to reach up there to pull in what they desire, as long as it doesn't hurt another. This platform is guidance. That means guidance equals free will. You can take or not. Nothing is forced. I just show. You know how like when your parents teach you how to fry the egg for the first time? What they do, they tell you to get the pan, oil it a little bit, just a little, because we don't want the grease to pop all over the place, or the butter, or whatever you use, or nothing. If you got that good non-stick pan, you don't have to use anything. You may want to spray. I don't know. Your choice. This is a Your Choice channel. Your choice. Just want to tell you what I know. I'm going to tell you what I've experienced. I'm going to tell you what I've gone through. I'm going to tell you what I had to burp. I'm going to tell you what I've seen. I'm over here drinking this tell you what I've seen. I'm going to tell you what I've experienced. Now you tell me you could do the same. That's why nobody has spoken dirty on my name. And even the people that found me on these platforms, they still follow me even after I do a reading with them. Because they recognize a real one. I am exactly who I say I am. But I've been outside. You just found me. Separation? Absolutely not. You tell your kinfolk stop separating. You tell your kinfolk that we don't belong to master no more. You tell your kinfolk, because we not kinfolk. So you don't get to speak on my name, even if we weren't kinfolk. Even if we were, you still don't get to speak on my name. My own family don't even get to speak on my name, as I don't speak on theirs. Won't do that over here. We fight behind the scene. So, if somebody send me another video, I'm going to have to speak your name. And I don't mind. Because you never have to pay for karma as long as you don't come for somebody first. And I never come for anybody. That's why I never have karma to pay for. But I am Empress Real 1584, the Good Witch. I send to everyone nothing but love and light. And to anyone that felt offended, excuse you. I make no apologies for what I said. Because I am who I am. When you see me, you don't see none of my family. You don't see this. You see this, and you're always going to see this. And I always have to protect myself until we are free. And we still aren't free. And I don't want to hear none of that. I have mixed kids. Shit, my grandpa did too. I don't want to hear that shit. My grandma, like raw meat, I don't. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Because if you're not standing with us, you ain't got shit to say at all. Just because you like to dig or you like to cooch, don't mean nothing if you're not standing with us. And we're not free, nor are we equal until we don't have to run, hide. When have they been able to just come up in your house? Oh, my bad, they've been doing that. Y'all thought it was something new? No, this been going on. They've been doing this. No matter what state you're in the U.S., we always have a story to tell. Oh, my bad. Where you live at, they started taking the books out to school already? Or did they not teach you that we have always been separated? But I knew we were always divided. Love and light. Good night to each and every one of you. Good night. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the new follows. I saw you. I saw you. I saw you. Thank you so much. I'll be back in a few days. I got some things to do in the background. I'll be back in a few days, but it doesn't mean that I'm not scrolling back and forth just doing a live. I'll be back in a few days, but I'm nosy like that. Listen, I like to see people shucking and jiving. That's what they say we do. But the ones that's always trying to copy us, they be shucking and jiving. I'm always in the background watching them dance. Old school artists I still love from when my mother was younger, playing music for us. You know, you can find all those videos up here. All my old school artists, hip hop, R&B, whatever the case may be. So I'm always watching. Uh, but I don't watch tarot readers at all. And that's because I can't allow myself to be tainted. Meaning that, how can I say this in the best way? Anytime that you're on your spiritual path, you have to learn how to separate. There are people that will say, that's what they'll say, that you can come as a group. That's not so. I come from a long line of root workers and voodoo workers from the deep south. And there has never been a time that you could come as a group, not unless you're in a cult. And so I don't watch others because we may believe in the same word, but we don't do things the same. Some people walk on one side and some people walk on the other. And that's how it is. But it doesn't mean that you're not friendly, but you don't practice. You never practice with another. Conversations, yes, but to practice, you always do your work separately. If not, then it's cult. When it's another, it becomes a cult. And I don't do the cult thing at all. And my family, we've never done it. My mother was a root worker, solo from other family members. Each person was their own person. Now, we may have to call another one if they had something we needed as far as a herb or something like that we couldn't get our hands on. We might have to call so-and-so and be like, hey, can you send me that? Because we can't get that where I live. That's it. But as far as practicing, nobody practices with the next, because somebody is always going to want to be better or bigger. There's always going to be a clash. So as long as you can keep your life separate from the next person, you don't have a problem. And even when people join cults, somebody always goes astray. And I'll explain it in a better way. The music groups. Let's talk about Beyonce, the original group. Remember when they were Earth, Wind, and then what happened? Everybody started leaving the group, and then Beyonce went solo. So you never do the cult thing, the group thing, because somebody always wants to be the head, and no one ever wants to be the tail. And if everybody has different strength, how can one person say they're the head over the next? So I don't do the cult thing. I don't do the group thing, because somebody is always going to want to be better than the other, do better than the other, be stronger than the other. If somebody tells you something different, it's not the truth. It's not the truth. You should always practice alone. Always meditate alone. Not unless it's with your child, your children. I don't even meditate with my sister, because we are sisters. And somebody's always going to want to be better. And that's the truth. And everybody may say, everybody's not like that. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Just like church, my religious people. You got the reverend, you got the deacon, you got the bishop. But what the deacon want? That deacon want to be a preacher. He want to be called reverend. He don't want to be a deacon forever. And then what does the preacher want? He want to be the bishop. Everybody's always waiting to take the next person's spot. And then when the deacon start learning that Bible, the deacon want his shot to stand at the pulpit. But everybody's hands shouldn't be on the pulpit. So that's why everybody gotta always do their own thing. That's why it confused me when someone would speak about me. I'm trying to separate, but we've been divided. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. But no, I don't do the group thing. I don't do the group thing. But I do teach as much as I can without one of y'all trying to stab me in the back, and whatever I teach you, you try to turn it against me. I'll never give you that much information. That's the truth. I'm being honest. I'm an honest person, right? To a fault. I'm honest to a fault. But I'll never teach so much on this platform where somebody can turn around and say, gotta, gonna get her. See? That's why you can't be in a group. But I am Empress Real 1584, the Good Witch. Good night. Love and light to each and every one of you. Good night.